you girls are just looking stunning. So I was wondering, what do they do? You know, how are they managing to look great? So share with us. What would be your secrets or your tips or advice on how to look after ourselves? Because we've got to, yeah? Social distancing or not.
So during the day, I chat with my friends. I make sure I check on them, chat with them. So that way I'm keeping myself out of mommy mode to girl mode in that sense, or lady mode. And so chatting with friends and a walk, but that's what is working well for me.
Kathy, what's working for you?
I also like to walk. How I start my day is really important to me. I find that if I rush into the day and everyone's on top of me, that really affects. I have to try and catch up on myself.
Yes.
So I will do all that I can to be up first. Sometimes, for whatever reason, that doesn't happen if we haven't slept well or whatever, but I do my best to get up first and just spend some time. I've got a chair that I sit in. I will get my Bible out. I've got a connection with some other ladies at that point that might also be just sitting there and preparing themselves for the day and just looking ahead to what that day is going to bring and talking to God about that day, just drawing from inside myself strength, peace, joy, smiling myself before the day comes, before I have to give to anyone else. I'm giving to myself by just helping myself start in a good way. That works for me.
Wow, that's excellent. Susy, what's been working for you?
I wouldn't say this is working daily for me. I have to be honest that I'm not implementing it daily. But what works for me is giving myself that time to wear peace. So when I say wear peace, I mean being able to display peace to the children, even if I've had a lot of my own kind of challenges going on internally. If I've dealt with them in the morning before they get up, then I can wear peace to them, and they can then mirror that, hopefully. And what I've found I'm really missing is routines. And people that really know me might laugh at hearing me say that, because it took me over 40 years to establish routines in my life. And I just managed to get routines in place, and then lockdown happened. So it's all been a bit chaotic again. So yeah, starting the morning early before the kids, having time to meditate and pray and just set myself up for the day. And if I'm finding myself getting stuck in a rut, so it might be a few days where I'm just feeling we're all getting up later, I'm just feeling a bit sluggish, routines aren't working for me, then just changing one thing in the morning, because sometimes it can be hard just to muster up the energy to bring that routine back in. If the kids are all fighting, the place is in chaos, I don't know if we all have days like that. I have days like that where you just think, how did we end up here? And just resetting myself by changing one thing, because I think if you have a big to-do list, if I can do all this, this and this, then my day will be better. It can be overwhelming, but just changing one thing at the very start of the day can change things. So it could be like Ruth was saying, going out for a walk, or like tomorrow I'm just going to wake up and do something really different. I'm not going to go and sit on the couch with a cup of tea. Yes. I'm just going to go and do something different, and it can reset your day, get you out of the rut.
Yeah, I love what Kathy was saying, starting your day before they wake up. I think for me that also works so well, because when you are awake before them, you catch your own time. And meditation, for me, getting a word from God and having that word to run my day, then I have that peace inside of me and strength, and in that I can set that atmosphere for my kids as well, because when they wake up, I know that, okay, I've got my own time before they wake up, and so I'm energized in that sense. So waking up early before them really is so good.
Amazing. So, ladies, you have shared, some of the ways you're keeping yourselves going, and I guess that was really important, especially in cases where you've got the one adult looking after a few kids. Actually, just trying to have time on your own, it becomes quite key whenever possible. But also sometimes maybe choosing one's battles, because we are just called to be good enough moms. So for anyone out there thinking that they should be perfect, I think that's not a really good way to do things. So just choose your battles, and it's okay that sometimes things don't work. I was a little bit curious also about physical care. How do you think people are managing out there? I have to say, as you can, I don't know if everyone notices, but I really need to tweeze to have someone do my eyebrows. So I've actually really missed that. But anything in terms of physical care, what are you guys doing to just keep yourselves looking radiant as you are?
Well, I don't know if I'm the best person to give tips on that, because I almost gave my son a bowl cut the other day, and then I cut my own hair and I'm hiding it half here because it's difficult. So I don't know if I'm the best person to give tips on hair and makeup. I'd also lost my tweezers, and I found them just the other day, so I've got nice eyebrows now, but I didn't have up to line. So maybe somebody else could offer some tips.
So you look stunning.
I think for me, when I had my 3-year-old, when she was a day-year-old, like I was like, I need to start making my hair myself. So that was my decision, and now it's working well for me. So every time I can change my look at any time. So doing my hair myself is something I love to do now, because I've learned it over the years. And I don't do lots of makeup. I had to do makeup for this, but this lockdown has helped me also to learn some tips about makeup powder. And yeah, so that's me.
I guess because we're doing a lot of videoing, I'm finding that probably I'm a bit more careful, whereas before, maybe towards the end of the day, who really cares? But then now, because you know that people are going to see on, so up close and personal. Anyway, Kathy, what do you think?
Well, what have I tried to do? Celebrate my naturalness. Just love myself. I don't think I look very glamorous, but I just love myself and celebrate who I am as much as I can. I'm trying to eat properly, lots of different colors of food, and that doesn't mean rainbow cookies.
We love rainbow cookies here.
Trying to eat healthily. Lots of smoothies, making our own smoothies.
Oh, I love it.
Quite got into these different drinks that you can get from plants. I'm a bit wary of the park that I go to walk in, and what I pick up, what might have been on it before I got there. So I'm not quite sure how to make everything safe to eat, but I fancy going down that route soon.
Some of the tips I could offer are more kind of what to do internally to help the external look. Because I've had rosacea, it's like a skin condition, I've had to work really hard at finding what kind of works for me food-wise. And I've found out that the gut is so connected to everything. And if you've got good gut health, then these kind of conditions can be healed or managed. So the whole fermented food things I was talking about earlier, just getting good gut bacteria in your system. And I'm even doing it with the kids that they don't know. So I'm not going to show them this video. So through smoothies, like Kathy was saying, we love smoothies here. And I'll put in some probiotics, and I even put in green stuff. I've got this green powder, and it's like 5 different vegetables. And I put a wee spoonful of that in. So looking after our internal internal health, I think, can then start to reflect on the outside.
Nice. Good food for me. Yeah. Good food.
Good food.
I love
Just treat yourself.
Treat yourself. Yeah.
Loving ourselves. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And we do need to talk a little bit about school, guys. And I know if you're like me, it's just been it's not there.
We've kind of touched on this briefly. Like, homeschooling really wasn't working for us, sitting at a desk with textbooks. So we tend to do our learning more through play, and it doesn't happen every day, but just as we're going along. So we'll be playing things like we set up a tent and had a shop, and we had Monopoly money, and would buy things from the shop, and I would give them extra, so they would have to work out the change. So just subtly bringing in homeschooling. And I've found that kids, when they wake up, like I'm mostly trying to get up before them, and when they wake up, they come running in. It's like they've started their day before they've opened their eyes, and they're on a mission. And I've found trying to bring in structure to that, it's like a car crash, because they wake up like a car just on the go, and it almost becomes a car crash when you try and get to sit down and look at a textbook. And for some families that works, but for us, I need to go with their flow, where they're going, just in the situation that we're in. But thinking ahead to the new announcements that are coming out, and it might just become part of life, having school partly at home, partly in a school system. I'm starting now, so this morning already said to my kids, this might happen, and it won't look like what we're doing just now. We will have to introduce something different, and that's all I said. And for my son that's got autism, introducing it now is so vital for him, so that he can prepare. So I'm hoping that by the time it comes round, he'll be ready in his mind, and he'll have like a separate space in the house he can associate with school, and then his room still his own space. So that's the kind of thoughts I've had on homeschool recently.
Yeah, I think for my 3-year-old and my 5-year-old, it's so hard to keep them still and having to do that. So what I do most times in the morning, I get them to watch YouTube. Like YouTube, there's so many educational things on YouTube that we watch, and that's the first thing they do in the morning, to just watch that. And so even at that, they don't keep still. Well, because it's music, there's music involved, there is actions involved, and I get to do the actions myself as well, so that they can be engaged with that. And so that we have that in the morning, and late at night before they go back to bed, we do lots of writing. So we just do writing because I feel that's when they're tired, and when they're tired, they tend to like concentrate more. For my kids, they tend to like concentrate more when they're tired, and so at night before they go to bed, they do lots of writing and coloring. And yeah, so that's what has been helping me at the moment. There's no routine. So some days we don't have that. Some days we have that. But most times that's what we do.
Excellent. I think it's important for us to just know that different situations will call for different solutions.
Yeah.
Kathy, on to you.
I think we try and be flexible, go with the weather. So if the sun is shining, we might do all the outside games first. I've got my eldest to coach my youngest basketball. That was one of his tasks at this time, to coach him. I had my older daughter teach my youngest to ride a bike. So we add in skills, cooking. They're learning to cook different dishes in amongst the lessons. All of our children, their learning is online, so we don't have textbooks. They have to do everything on kind of Google Classroom. So they sign in and we get on with it, but we are quick to swap and change if there's an opportunity comes. extra basketball coaching, or somebody's scootering in the street and they can do that 2 meters apart. We just go with the flow and don't make it a heavy pressure. But I know our kids, all of our kids are learning, and we'll be surprised when later on, when we find out what they really did learn from all these games, all these experiences, all this hide in the dark and hide and seek and everything that we've been doing. It's been so important.
Wow. That's amazing, beautiful. Ladies, we are almost done. Was there any last word that you wanted to share with people out there?
It's a privilege to have kids, and so serving them is a great way for them at this time. And so for me, when I'm taking care of my kids, I feel like this is me serving. And that's one thing as a Christian, to know that it's good to serve, and that is what Jesus did for us. And so, yeah, it's a privilege to be a mom.
I think for me, the main thing is maintaining mental health for everybody. Having had challenges in our household with mental health, with autism, dyslexia. For us, mental health is paramount. And there's a verse that Ruth had actually given me the other day, and I read the Passion Translation. I'd love to just share it. It says, "Perfect, absolute peace surrounds those whose imaginations are consumed with you. They confidently trust in you." And for me, that's like the centre for us. Like, is our peace comes from God, not our circumstance.
I think it's important to always be looking out, as well as what you've got to look around in your own family, to reach out. And one thing that as a family, we've been acts of kindness. How can we reach out? I think everyone has a voice. Everyone has a unique something inside them that expresses itself through kindness, whether it's sending cards to people, getting involved with the local food bank, whether it's checking on a neighbor, whether it's making a phone call to an elderly person that you know, just reaching out of yourself to take care of somebody out with your family, I think just helps us cope with the moment we're in, and also leads us on into where we will come out. So there's relationships waiting for when we come out, that we've grown here and now, the skills and creative ways our children could be reaching out to others in kindness, acts of kindness. So when they come out of this, they'll have developed a way of reaching out to others.
This has been amazing, ladies. You have really poured out your heart and you've shared so much. This is the end for today for the World of Wellbeing. If you liked it, you can share and subscribe.